been a week since we last looked at the worm farm, and during that time we've had quite a bit of rain. So the worm farm does get some moisture from the rain here, drips down, and I'm touching the sack here, and it's quite wet. It's not too wet though, like this is really an ideal place for the worms, because when it rains, just a small amount of water comes through these holes. It's enough to keep it moist. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a lot of Bokashi waste to the worm farm today. So first of all, we take the sacks off, and we can see again it's the avocados that take ages to break up. I might chop them up a little bit. There's some bones in there, so they don't break down either. I'm not going to worry about moving them. When we change the trays over, we'll get rid of some of these things that aren't breaking down. There's loads of worms in here, and there's that green compostable bag still there. Yep, not much food, so plenty of worms. So here's the Bokashi bucket that we drink the juice from, and we're just going to add a whole lot of waste to it. So I'm just going to scoop it out and just put it in. So because this worm farm's been going for over 2 years, the worms are very comfortable with eating a lot of waste, and they're very familiar with Bokashi waste, so it doesn't shock them. If you've never fed Bokashi waste to a worm farm before, you would add small amount gradually. But all these worms have ever had is waste coming from a Bokashi bucket. Now generally speaking, you're not supposed to add citrus or onions, things like that, to a worm farm, but I add absolutely everything to this, and I've never had a problem. It's quite a big piece of onion. We'll leave that in. Sometimes if there's a lot, I might take a bit of citrus out and put it in another Bokashi bucket and use that when I bury the waste in the ground. So this is a heap of waste, and what we're going to do is we're going to leave this for a couple of weeks and see what it looks like in a couple of weeks. Tea bags. I think I'll do a bit more, a couple more spoons. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some castings from the bottom tray. See all these lovely worms here. And just get a bit of castings and just put it in there. Sometimes I even just put soil. I think the reason I do it is, like, if the worms come up there and they do find it a bit acidic, they can at least got somewhere to run away to. I don't know if that's the reason, but for some reason I think it's good to put a little bit of dirt every time you add waste. Yep, so now we need to make sure that, and they're quite wet, so I don't need to wet them again. And that just stops them from drying out, keeps them cool, and then just make sure you put the lid on properly, and then we'll come and have a look at that in 2 weeks' time.